Good day, Wannabe entrepreneurs. Today I want to ask you to think back of something very painful in your life. This can be your heart got broken, someone dropped you, someone tore you, their love from you, or it can be something physical. I can remember when I was about 15 years old, I did a triple jump in high school. And what happened was, I did all my warm-up exercises and whatever, and as I jumped and landed on my right leg, my hamstring tore. Now, this was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. But I think the biggest pain that came with that was the humiliation, because this happened right in front of the main pavilion, where all the school children were cheering the teams, and I fell there on my ass. Well, that was very painful. One of the most painful things that any entrepreneur goes through is when he runs out of cash. That's why there's a saying, cash is king. In any business, cash is king. And if your cash flow runs out, or if your cash runs out, you in serious pain. This normally happens when your business is still in the growing stages. There's a lot of prospects. You've started your business, you've done your marketing, you've got people that's interested in your product or service, and you're just pumping, and then you don't have any money left. It may happen that your bank balance or your overdraft is on zero, and you actually get calls from your banker or from the bank that tells you if you want to do an EFT, when you go into your bank, it shows you've exhausted all your financial resources. Even if you've maxed out all your credit cards, whatever money was left in the business, you've plowed back. And normally the sad thing about this is also there's no money for you. You know, you have to pay your employees, you have to pay your suppliers, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay your electricity, your utilities, but you don't have any money coming in. There's a lot of potential. You may have a very good debtors book, but you've got these terms with these customers that they may pay you on a 30-day account. So it's crap. What do you do? What's your options? Normally the first option is to maybe go to your bank and try and get a bigger overdraft facility, maybe increase the limits on your credit card. But then sometimes very sticky. The banks are very sticky, because the thing is, although there may be transactions in your account and they can see that there's activity, financial activity, if they're already in the red with you, they're going to be very reluctant to give you more money, because like in any business, there's a risk involved, and you now become a risk for your banker, because if you can't pay them back, then they need to start taking action against you, and whatever surety you've put down, that's now at risk. They can come and they can take your equipment, your premises. If you don't pay your landlord will evict you. So there are certain critical expenses that needs to be paid in order for you to continue operating in this business. For instance, if you're renting a factory, you need your factory's floor space. You know, if you've got employees, you need to pay them, otherwise they're going to strike or even just abandon you. People can only live so long on promises. And that is the most painful part of the entrepreneurial process, is to get through this phase. Because you know, your heart and your wits tell you that everything is going well. This business that I've created is growing, and that is normally when cash flow becomes the most crucial part, when a business starts growing. Because if you've got sporadic business growth, you need additional resources. And that the main resource that's normally consumed in this stage of the business is cash. And you burn cash much faster than what you create. So your outflow is more than your inflow. Okay, there are a couple of options. Like I said, one option is to go to your bank manager and beg for more. Normally that's the best and the quickest avenue to follow. But if your bank manager is a bit sticky, then you've got a major problem. Maybe if you're in a business where you've got other investors, maybe silent partners or people that believed in your business idea and saw the opportunity, maybe you can go to your investors. Now, sometimes, especially when you start a business, these investors can be very, very, very funny people. Normally, entrepreneurs, when they start a small business, they get their funding from the most ridiculous sources. They'll probably go to family members, maybe parents, siblings, friends, and borrow money. And this money is basically what the entrepreneur uses to start his business. So it's normally funds from a very personal source. Now, obviously, if it's family, you don't want to tick them off, except if they give you a contract and say, okay, I'm going to invest 50,000 in your business and I want a monthly payback of 5,000. So that is a contractual agreement. So one way to manage your cash flow is to reach out to them and say, look, if your business is going down the tube and you go and ask for more money, and you know in your heart of hearts that there is no future for this business, then you need to realize that if you now go and refinance this business, you're not only lying to yourself, you're also lying to your banker, your investor. So maybe you can renegotiate your loans, renegotiate your terms. But also, in order to renegotiate, you need to have a plan and a written document that you can show these people. And the best document for that, and that is what they teach you at business school, is a cash flow statement. Obviously, your cash flow statement goes hand in hand with your financials, which is your balance sheet and your income statement. But so if you've got these three documents and you go to a banker or a sponsor or an investor, you can tell them, here's my balance sheet, here's my income statement, here's my debtors list, but I'm running out of cash. Please help me. A cash flow statement gives them a good idea of current cash utilization and future cash needs. Because that's normally the thing. Like I say, normally a small business runs in cash flow problems when it's in a growth spurt. So what do you do if people, your current investors or backers, financial backers, are not in a position, number one, or not prepared to lend you more money or to increase your facility or to give additional funds? Well, this is a very tricky part. One thing that's on your balance sheet that's in your favor, if it is your debtors. So maybe you can go to your debtors and give them better terms if they pay you quicker. So for instance, this one company owes you 60,000 and it's on a 30-day account. You can maybe approach them and say, if you pay me within 2 weeks, you can get a 10% settlement discount. That's one way to do it. But unfortunately, normally that's not enough. That's not enough for you to go through this growth phase. Always, in a growth spurt, you need much more cash. Wannabe entrepreneurs, how do we cross this cash flow barrier. Depending on the setup of your financial structure in your company or your business, maybe you're the sole owner. Maybe a last resort is to sell a part of your business to an outsider. So this person becomes an investor in your business. They give you the cash, but in return they want a piece of your pie. A cash flow problem is it's a character of a small growing business, a new business in a growth spurt. The thing is, when you're desperate and you sell a part of your pie, say you're forced to sell 50%. It's fine, you've got the cash now, so you can carry on operating. But now, all your effort that goes into your business is shared by someone else. They also take 50% responsibility, so 50% risk. So they've got a bigger stake in your company, but you do all the effort, you do all the work, you're the operator, so you put 100% effort in, but once you're through this valley and your cash flow returns to normal, 100% of your effort will be only rewarded by 50%. Because whatever future profits you make will be shared between you and your partner. This is called share dilution. You're diluting your shares. So instead of having 100% of your company now, or your business, because remember, if you're a business owner, even if it's a small business, you own, and you're a one-man show, you own 100% of that business. So if you dilute it, your 100% share decreases. And that's why you'll see these huge companies. A shareholder like Bill Gates only has a certain percentage of the shares of Microsoft. And if you've got a small percentage of a huge company, it means you are, on paper, very rich. But if you had 100% of that company, you would be much richer. But now, because you had to dilute your shareholding in order to finance the growth of your company, in the dilution of your shareholding, you actually generate more wealth in your personal capacity as your business grows. If you start an exciting company with massive opportunity and massive growth potential, investors will fall over their feet and knock each other out of the way to become part of your business, to get a piece of the pie. They want a piece of your pie. If you're a small business with limited growth potential, with a ceiling of growth, it will be much more difficult to get additional investors interested in your pie. So bake a nice pie, make a nice pie, create a business that offers people the future. Now you've got two options. If they want to buy X percentage of your business, they can either be a silent partner, just an investor, someone that's not hands-on, or you can pull them into your business. And sometimes it's not a bad idea to pull someone else into your business. And they see the potential in your business. These people probably have a lot of business knowledge. And if you pull them into your daily operations, it can be massively beneficial for your business, because they come with a set of skills that you personally don't have, and they come with new eyes, and they come with new ideas, and they come with new impetus where they can actually be helpful. So although you sell a share of your pie, you actually get much more in return by diluting your shareholding, by getting someone in that will actually be beneficial to your company. Now I say company, it can be a small business, it can be a startup, or it can be a business that's already been in operation for a couple of years. This business is generating so much new business now that it's in a growth phase, and you need more cash. You need cash to survive, number one, and then you need also cash to thrive. Now, survival is a very difficult concept, and it's part of the entrepreneurial process. Because if your business don't survive, you basically have to close your doors. And then you've lost everything that you've put into the business. So cash flow is king. And to manage cash flow is crucial for the survival of your business. And like I say, one of the most painful periods for any small business is when you run out of cash, when you've got a cash flow problem. So make sure that cash is king in your business. Make sure your business may not be profitable, and that's normally what happens to any business. You won't be profitable for a couple of years. Another option is to cut expenses. Now the big question is, what do you cut? Where do you cut? And how much do you cut? If your business is growing and you need raw material, you're not left with a lot of options in cutting raw material. One way to resolve this, cut some expenses there, is to go to your creditors and either renegotiate your terms, or even if it's a cash account, to move it to a 30-day account. And they will normally, if you've been doing business with them for some time, they will probably give you an account. Obviously, if there's an existing relationship and they trust you, they'll probably ask you to complete a creditor application, where again you will have to put down some surety if they ask for it. But normally that's the only way you can reduce your creditors, your suppliers, and save money there. You can also maybe approach your creditors and say, if I pay you sooner, will you give me a bigger discount, a settlement discount? That's one way. If you really are desperate, you can maybe approach your workers. Say you've got a production facility and you explain to your workers, we're going through a tough time. You guys can see we are growing, but we've got a cash flow problem. So are you prepared to come down in your salaries? Because the other alternative, if you're not prepared to do that, there's the reality that we're forced to close this business, and then you're going to lose your job and your salary, your wages. So if your workers also believe in your company, they may come to the party and say, we're prepared to either drop our wages, or we are prepared to work less hours, so it takes some strain off your cash flow. But if they work less hours, run the risk of sacrificing productivity. Maybe you can look at your systems and work out more productive ways to maybe streamline production processes, maybe automate some of these processes. So the entrepreneur must also be a production manager. You need to sometimes just go and sit and see how your processes flow. The flow of processes. And maybe there are ways to better the flow, and in bettering the flow, increase productivity. By increasing productivity, you will be in a situation where you can produce the same product, same quality, much quicker. If you streamline your processes, there's a way to save money. Maybe you must look at your transport setup. Maybe you do your own transport of goods, rationalize your transport. Instead of going out twice a day with half a truck, you go out once a day with a full truck. Outsourcing is another option to save money. A piece of your business that you're doing in-house now, but maybe if you outsource this part of your business, maybe it's your transport. If you handle your own transport, it means that you're paying for your own diesel, you have to pay your monthly lease on your vehicles. Maybe it's going to be, if you do the exercise, maybe it's cheaper to outsource your transport. So you need to look at all the aspects of your business and see, where can I save money? Where can I possibly outsource? Where can I streamline processes to make it more productive? Because in being more productive, you can save money. Maybe look at your stock holding, because every manufacturing facility carry stock. If you're in manufacturing, you need stock. You need raw products. But maybe you've got stock on your shelves that either you've discontinued the product, but you've still got the old stock on the shelves. So one way to generate income from that dead stock is to sell it off. Obviously, you're probably going to run a loss, but by cutting your stock, number one, you create more space because this dead stock is taking up shelf space. You're never going to use the stock again. So if you get 50 cents on the dollar, it makes sense getting rid of that. Maybe there are products in your offering that is not profitable, but complementary products that goes with your main product. So another alternative is to outsource these complementary products, or maybe stop offering these to your customers, but only your business, because your business is unique. Your unique situation will lead you to either cut products from your offerings. And the hardest part of being an entrepreneur in a growth spurt is maybe to kill some products. And this can be very difficult, especially if those products are your babies. And you've got a personal affiliation with these products. If these products aren't profitable, maybe you need to cut them. And a lot of entrepreneurs start their business with a certain product or service in mind. And as the business evolves, they actually expand and take on new projects or products or services. And these new ones, which did not build your business, are actually more profitable than your pet project that you started your business with. Maybe you need to make the difficult decision to just cut these products out of your business. Look, that's also, just to get through this growth stage, just to kill this cash flow problem, you can, again, always reintroduce those products at a later stage after you've just survived, because surviving the cash flow crisis is basically the most difficult and most painful process in an entrepreneurial life. I either do this surgery now and I survive, or I leave the tumor in my business, which will possibly cost me my business. Entrepreneurs are very proud people, and in their pride they're often scared to ask for help, to seek help. Now there are a lot of companies that offer business rescue solutions, but it comes at a price. So the one alternative is to get a business consultant in, which will charge you a fee, but maybe you need an external person to have a look at the overall business and to come with outside perspective how to save your business. Now, like I say, nothing in life is for free. These services come at a price, but it's maybe better to pay that price and to get an outside professional in to come and assess your business, to give you guidance, and to tell you what to do. And sometimes these people are very helpful if you need to do serious cutting. Say, for instance, you need to get rid of staff. These third parties can do this surgery much more efficient than you. And it also takes the emotion out of it, because this is now an outsider coming into your business and telling your staff that if we don't do these cuts now, we're going to close the doors. Probably the most heartbreaking exercise entrepreneur needs to do when you're deep in crap is to make the decision to close this business. That's heartbreaking, but it happens. And sometimes you need to take this hard step because your business is going nowhere and it's bringing you financially down. If you stand the risk of losing everything, your car, your house, your family, then maybe the last option is to just close the business. Now, no entrepreneur wants to hear this, but you know what? Entrepreneurs are people that with the tenacity to stand up again. So even if this current business is a failure, you can go back to the drawing board. Look for another opportunity. Look for another business idea. Start from scratch again. Because one of the benefits of running your first business is the enormous amount of knowledge that you build up. Because you've gone through this process. You started a business, went through all the formalities, opened a bank account, grew this business, but now your cash flow, this monster has caused your business to fail. And I think if you look at the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, one of the things that's common in all of them, it's like a golden string that runs through their lives, is somewhere in their career they had failures. Or maybe they started a business which was a complete disaster and they had to close that business. But that's the spirit of entrepreneurship, is to take time, go back to your drawing board, start again. The knowledge that you build up is worth the price that you pay. Because although this business failed, the whole learning process just makes you stronger and just gives you more information for the next one. That's where serial entrepreneurship comes in. Now, what a serial entrepreneur does is they start one business, they build it up, and then they move on to the next business. Start a new business, build it up. So it's a series of businesses that build up. So if one fails, it's not such a major crisis because the other businesses carry him through or her through. Or it may happen that if you're the owner of all your businesses, one business can basically finance the other business. So one that's cash rich can help the one that's cash poor and bring the whole empire through this crisis stage.